Hopefully I have this up and running and working. Of course, I go to start the stream and settings have changed. However, I have a visitor. This is Gus the cat. So do I see audio here? One. Yeah, Gus, don't eat my arm. Yes, we have audio. Yes, we have Gus. Gus is leaving here. No. So I have a spray bottle. He wants to play, but I'm not letting him. And lighting doesn't look right either. Thought I'd have everything set up for now. How's that for lighting? That looks a little bit better. And chat did fire up properly, it looks like. I've changed some of these settings here because I have been using Twitch. So unfortunately, doesn't look like the streaming settings changed properly. So we'll have to keep experimenting there. And what do we got here? I'm Richard Murray. This is Zidim. I have issues taking place right now, so what I planned on doing isn't happening quite yet. I do want to cover a few things today, and one of those things looks like I have to change this camera a little bit. Bear with me. Nope, wrong way. Looks like, how's that? That shows a little bit better, I think. I have to get used to it. Gotta set up the cameras a little bit different once again. So what are we going to do today? Well, I had planned on doing a walkthrough of the new Simplify 3D version 4.0. The only thing is I never had my chance to actually walk through, do the slices, so I can explain the new features on there. And I don't feel comfortable just discovering those as I chat with you on it. But we'll have to fight on. And once again, never had a chance to look at it, but we will see what we can do. On the other item I wanted to walk through is I got a box. Always fun to get the mail. There we are. Always like getting new things. So what do we have here? We have packing paper. Now this is once again from filaments.ca, and I'm a fan of the way they send things and that. One of the things that's included are the sealing bags with the silicone gel inside already, so you are set up to go with that. So what did I get this time? I have 4 new Form Futura filaments here. Just get rid of the box. There we go. I know I had glasses here somewhere. There. Any candy? No, they don't provide candy. Oh well. But for 3D printers, it's a form of candy. What did I get here? I got all types of wood filament, and we'll have a look at these here. Once again, this is all Form Futura. I've come to really like this filament. They give you all sorts of information. As I said, the first time I got a wood fill filament, what information you got, it said wood on the side. That was it, no other information. The reason I've gone with all these wood fills is I find they're much easier to use for finishing for the trains. This one here, this one they just call light. This is a cork fill, and they tell you they've actually adjusted. This is quite interesting, actually. Make sure I got this on screen. There we go. They've put on, they've adjusted the recommended print settings, because over here on the main tag it says 240 to 260 Celsius on it, but they've adjusted the recommendation for it. They've dropped the temperature down to 210 to 260. When you're looking on the website from Form Futura for their various products, they actually show you what it looks like if you print at the lower temperature range or at the higher temperature range. So has possibilities there with this darker cork. What do we have here? Ebony, a much darker filament, and this I'm going to be using for the dollhouse furniture. So what have we got here? 200 to 240 Celsius on it. So looking forward to playing with that for the dollhouse furniture. Which one is this here? Pine. Now this is the one I'm really looking forward to trying out, because this here is my tunnel portal. I printed it out in the cedar. Now the cedar starts off being very red, and this has been stained with my gray stain. It's not a paint, it's a stain, but the gray, hush, everything there. Xander's playing video games. Let's see. Yes, tell Xander that later on I'll go on to Minecraft and I'll show him the site that or the building that I am building. It's one building, it's very large. But anyways, so this is red cedar and with the gray stain, and doesn't look like much. It is a very nice material to use though. So my standard tunnel portal, good thing I need a whole bunch of these for the N-scale train. I'm going to be going to the pine. Now looking here, it looks like it's darker than what I originally saw on their website, but I'm hoping it'll take the stains as well. I may end up having to paint and color it there. I'm looking for a lighter wood fill that I can then use the various stains on. The project I have coming up is my O scale milk shed, and I want to use the different wood stains on it. So this one, as I said, it's darker than what I saw in their advertisement. We'll see how that comes across. And finally, what is this one here? Coconut. And this one is a darker one again. And once again, I'm looking at the dollhouse furniture and doing the prints with the dollhouse furniture. So we will be putting these to the test. The one thing that didn't show up in the mail yet is my new PTFE tube. I went through it last week. I did get things printing again, but it's still not great. And when I look at the PTFE tube in there, it has been distorted. So, and I never found the first one that Gus got. So when this new tube comes in, which hopefully will be today, I bought a bunch of it. I'm going to be storing it as soon as it comes in, so Gus can't take off with it. And we will hopefully be fully up and printing again. I'm finding it's taking a lot of force to get the filament through the distorted PTFE tube that I have right now. So that's why I haven't been printing. As I said, I didn't get a chance to go through the new Simplify 3D. I have done a first initial slice on it just to see how things are going. With this, here's my favorite model, one of my horses. As I say, if you look at things, the mesh looks good, but if you do your first slice, you get the problem I've been having with the other slicers, and that is the jaw is, even though the mesh looks good, it's a separate mesh, and it just doesn't come through on the slice. Very interesting because I have generate supports on here, and the only support it generated was for this hoof. But as I said, I really want to go through this, put it through its paces, and then I will give you my thoughts on it. With the Simplify 3D, I do like using it. It's a very easy to use package. It has a whole slew of new tools that I'm excited about trying, using the variable process settings and the easement of process settings, but I don't know how to do that yet. So we'll learn how to do it. You know, they talk about being, if you have multiple processes setting up, you can set it so it eases things, so there's an actual transition between process 1 and process 2. So that's one feature it's looking at, so you can increase detail work on it and setting up other settings. Here, let me grab, I have to grab this screen because right now I'm not seeing the chat properly. Oops. Hi Bob. Yeah, then I can give that to it. The one thing is, with this model, I'm generating those within DAZ 3D, and it seems each slicer works a little bit different with that jaw issue. I have done prints with it where the jaw does come through properly, and then I just change the model angle a little bit and the jaw disappears. The reason there's an issue is within DAZ 3D, a lot of it's not set up for 3D printing, although they are moving in that direction. Those models are posable. They're not really intended for 3D printing, but what they are for being posable, it has the full mouth detail modeled in, because you can go in and open the mouth to whatever degree you want to. And that's why the jaw is a separate item on there. And within Cura, I took that same model within Cura and it sliced it properly. So that's where I've sliced it within Cura, Slicker, the Slice 3, I like the slicker. It finally makes it a sensible name for it. So slicker, Cura, Prusa Control, and now the new Simplify 3D 4.0. So each one of those tends to slice it a little bit differently, but 3 of those now are slicing it with the lower jaw gone. And once again, if I move the head up, I'm not moving the mouth open, I'm just moving the head, and all of a sudden it renders properly. But my goal is to have a whole stack of horses sitting here, and then each one gets posed a little bit different, and that way it doesn't look like you've just bought a dozen horses. I want each one to be a little bit different. The other thing I thought of, as I say, I got projects coming up here. My milk shed is the next one. The reason I'm going to be doing it the way I will be is there's a lot of curved pieces on it. So instead of just modeling it with some, it'd be 6x6s, would be what the posts are. I can actually model it with the curves in as 6x6s and then do the staining on it. We'll see how that works. But that I'll be doing in Fusion 360, and I'll make it useful. But the other thing I thought of the other night was I need to model with my cattle here. I want to model some pigs. The reason I want to model the pigs is when I was very young, probably under 8, I was at my uncle's the one summer, and just visiting cousins, and I managed to rope a sow, large pig, very large sow. Never rope a sow. It took us forever. I finally had to go to my uncle, and he had to come and get the rope off the sow. It wasn't working for us kids. And I was thinking with my cattle and my horses, that's a scene I'm going to have to print and put out somewhere on my layout. It is this sow with a rope around its neck, running around its pen, and 3 of us kids sitting there watching in horror. Yeah, I don't know why my chat is so small on that screen. I am going to actually remove the model and remove the mouth from the model. It's when you're doing the rendering for model trains, when you're doing the modeling, you have to look at what detail you need, because say on the engineer's hands, really with the hands there are 2 pieces. I don't need to have the 4 fingers and a thumb. What I need is a finger part and a thumb, and model it that way. You'll never see the individual fingers on my train prints, so no need to have them. Just reduce the models to that. So you do have to change those settings. Look at doing that for these models. We'll just have to get there. I'm out of it a little bit. I don't think I've slept more than a few hours in the last 4 days, so sorry for doing that. I'm going to keep this fairly short. Unfortunately, I lost a dog on Monday, and that really messes you up. And then other crises coming up between that. So that's why it's going to be very, very short today, because as I said, I'm very, very foggy. By the way, I still haven't heard what's going to happen for the Friday night hangout yet. Although if you go over to the Facebook page there, and I think there is a link for it down below here for the Facebook page. If it isn't there, I'll make sure I get it in there shortly. I put a call out for topics, and Vicky has added some there already. So if you have any ideas of things we can talk about on Friday nights, please put it there. And then I'm not certain who's going to be hosting this week. But always fun to do those. But anyways, as I said, I'm very foggy and somewhat out of it mentally today. So I'm not going to do much more. I have also been playing with I have it open here. Come on, mouse. Where are you? Problem of having 3 screens. This is taking play. Oh, there it is. It changed screens on me. I had a few programs going through this. What I've done here, this is actually a rock face, and this is within Agisoft. And this is the mesh on it. You can see some of the details on the sides here. This is for the N scale train layout. Once again, this is working with the scenery. When we're working within Agisoft, you can actually view it with all the texturing in place. However, for 3D printing, doesn't mean anything to have that texture in there. Looks nice to have the markings on there, but what is important to us is to see what the mesh looks like, and then modifying it. And as you can see, this is not a manifold yet. I have to add a backing to it, but we're getting into what I'm looking for my models. Having the blobs in place, all this nice texture. One of the things that is a new feature within Simplify 3D is more control over your meshes and simplifying it. As you can see, there's quite a bit on this. This is a very simple piece of rock right now. So I'm actually looking to do more texture with this, and then turning it into the manifold for the print. But come on. It does have a lot of possibilities to it. I'm just not there yet. So sorry to make that so brief. The other thing that's taking place is the 3D printer is about to move in here. I don't think it'll happen today, but hopefully tomorrow I'll have had things. I have these drawers that I can now attach to the desk, and that'll get a bunch of stuff off my desk and into the drawers, and then the printer can sit here. And what I like about this area more is I have good lighting for it, and this is my workroom. It is extremely cluttered right now. I'm not there. So there's very little new information here for you today. So sorry about that. I'm going to get some sleep done, and then I've got a whole ton of modeling work to do, and I'm way behind on my printing. As I said, the new PTFE tubing hopefully will be arriving today or tomorrow. I'll get that up and running. I'll bring the printer in here, and I can get to work because I got a stack of stuff that needs to be done. That's it. Sorry it's so short, and we will get this information, get the information out as soon as I find out what's happening on Friday. Next week, I'm going to have to be working on my dollhouse furniture. I'm way behind, as I said, on getting this stuff done. I have some chairs to model first, and these are antique chairs, and I'm going to be doing those in Fusion 360. So that's my plan for getting that done. So I'm sort of rambling here. I will get my headspace into the right area, and I'll see you Friday night, and I'll get another posting out on the weekend, and I have a few videos that are in progress. I have to polish those off, and we'll get those up there. So have a good morning once again. We'll see you Friday night. Take care.